Welcome in to our regular Saturday morning show. Going to start off running through a few slabs, and then whatever's winning on the poll we'll switch over to. Looks like Morning TMNT took the lead out of the gate. But I hope everyone's having a good Saturday morning. Check the show notes for info on the show and give us a follow for regular turtle shows. We hold them every week, every Saturday morning and Monday and Tuesday nights.
So my eldest stayed with us, and he likes comics. He was pretty cool. He had a black leather jacket.
Hope everyone's having a good morning so far.
He was fun. I'm so glad he lived
All the turtle stuff we have today is in the auction tab. Everything else is in the buy it now. Marvel, DC, Indie. There's over 2,000 books in the buy it now and over 400 turtle items in the auction tab. So let me know if there's anything you guys want me to skip ahead and run. We got issues from pretty much every volume of Turtles, signed stuff, slabs, hard to find stuff. Today we're watching an interview with Mr. A.C. Farley.
He didn't get mad. He did not get mad at us. He made us reach in there to pull it out.
We'll be going to Free Comic Book Day in Rochester, New Hampshire, and he'll be there. So hopefully we'll be able to visit his booth, and you guys will be able to shop it through our stream, which will be fun.
He like world's finest. He was a DC.
Oh, and good morning, Brad. I'm sorry, man. I didn't see you there. I'm always a little distracted at the start.
He also, my mom and dad, my mom was a Pentecostal preacher's daughter.
I hope you're having a good one. We had some fun last night. Leading up to Free Comic Book Day, we'll be doing all sorts of fun little sales, and I'm basically doing surprise sales where, you know, I'll just run whatever I want at a discount. We'll do a lot of sort of stuff. Like last night we ran, I don't know if you were in, I know you were in for a little bit, but we ran blind bags for $1 last night. That was fun. We'll be doing stuff like that.
I love Kurt Russell and George Clooney.
Yeah.
And Murphy Anderson.
Once we're through these slabs, it looks like Mirage TMNT is leading the poll. I could switch over and run some of that. We did get some new Mirage in this week. I could probably run through the rack. A lot of the new Mirage is on there.
I like Joe Kubert a lot. Probably more. All of them, but I really like Kubert and Rosetta.
And we are live on YouTube as well. Feel free to tune in wherever you'd like.
When I first started trying to do artwork, I was
try to monitor the chat over there.
I wasn't getting any love for anything. Mostly I was getting my dad shaking my finger and yelling at me. And I'd even go to bed at night trying to go to sleep, and I would hear him holler at me in my sleep. So I transitioned away from the question, I think.
What's up, guys?
Yeah. No, we were just talking about, Eli was saying how much he can see. Like, he sees like Frazetta in your work.
Oh, that's so nice to say. You know, all I try to do when I'm drawing is I want to feel like I'm doing it. I'm pulling from everywhere, you know? I'm pulling from Kubert, Rosetta, any art I ever saw that I liked. I'm trying to filter all that back through me and have something that my hand did come out.
I know that you're also a huge fan of 2001. Did you see that when it came out, and that then inspired your vision and then the movement art as well?
It knocked me out as far as the design went, and I've been trying to see anybody beat that. I haven't seen it.
Got a few Mirage slabs to kick off. The Mirage stuff will run for you guys. Brian!
Find something like that.
We've got a couple more slabs left here. If there's any slabs you want me to rerun, just let me know. I'm also open to offers on them. Just let me know what you guys are thinking. How's it going, dude? You see all the new stuff we got in?
Somebody else who made a big wish push it and make something as cool as Star Wars.
So you were an artist in the military, I saw. Were you like supervising?
And let me know when you're ready to pull the trigger on that triple sign book. I have one set aside for you, and I'll run it for the special Brian price whenever you're ready.
You know,
No rush.
While I was in high school, the art teacher would get offers for people to do some art. So I went with this one guy one time to draw superheroes on jeans for an afternoon. It's cool. But yeah, that was my first real assignment as an artist, and it was lucky.
All right, we'll run through some Mirage. We'll start with the rack here. Most of the stuff on here is Mirage. Well, we've got a few different publishers, but I'll run through the rack, and then I'll kind of try to stay focused on Mirage stuff. So we got stuff from Volume 1, Volume 4, Volume 2, Volume 3. We pretty much got stuff from every volume of Turtles. Okay, man, I'll remind you, but no pressure, no rush or anything.
I mean, I also read like you needed like top secret side clearance too. Like that's insane.
Raphael Smash, what's up, dude? Welcome back. Hope you're doing well today.
Rings within rings, you know. So
Hope you enjoyed your stuff.
Doesn't know what the outside is doing, but if you have special intelligence, you can know the various levels.
Oh, cool. No problem at all, dude. I mean, you got a new member of the family to take care of.
There were cartoons about things like communications, invitation, things like that, and they liked this. They had an old
look, my
logo that they liked.
Interesting.
It's a
cool
electronic warfare club. So they like to see crows on stuff.
That automatic notification in the Discord worked today, so I have it set up. I've got a fun little thing set up where basically we go live. We also go live on YouTube. Then I've got a bot in the Discord that detects when we're live on YouTube and notifies automatically. So I'm kind of trying to get like a good traffic around. Like, there's a few different places people can get notified that the shows are live, and like it's coming together. The whole online community thing, it's taking shape.
Yeah, and he wanted me to go with him.
Ooh.
Nope, there's a gatehouse.
Wait, you ran on Wednesday?
At this place I'm living, he goes, it's like a whole house. You can live there. And I was about to go.
I thought someone said that you didn't run because you had the dog or something.
Yeah, there was no guarantee I wouldn't get sick of turkey for a year, and you can't take your family there. So I was like, no.
Oh, nice.
I got out. I'm like, I'd asked my dad to help. That's another reason I joined the army.
This one is a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive sketchbook from Kevin Eastman. There's only 10 in the world. This one's number 1010. It's a metal cover. You see a little shine on it, that's why. Yeah, no, that's great. I am back, 100%, pretty much. Sorry to worry you, yeah. But yeah, just was totally not feeling good last week.
I got some jobs doing tech illustration. Did a lot of that in the Army too. Tech illustration saving my bacon last few years. For actually the last 14 years. And I like it because, you know, I like a lot of stuff. And I like to spread out my interest. I really like working with scientists and engineers. You feel like you're really doing something that's, I don't make it sound like doing comics doesn't help people, because I know it does. And, you know, I didn't really know that for a while, but I really get it now. And I think back to me and my uncle, you know, comics are real important, and I'm feeling differently as I'm getting older. But I still love this tech book too. It's a giant payoff.
I know, dude. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to ghost like that. I just did not even have the energy to like explain to people like I'm sick. I'll be on as soon as I can, kind of thing. Like I said, every day I was like, I'll do it. I'll do tomorrow. I'll do tomorrow. I kept pushing it back, and I couldn't push it back anymore. I was like, fuck.
So I have to save it real quick.
I just did not even have the energy for it.
Whenever I can get people's eyes glazed over, start talking about 3D.
How do you? So what goes into the tech illustration? I'm kind of curious about that because I've never really gotten to talk to anybody that does that kind of work.
Get the CAD. Well, it's manufacturing CAD, and they do a lot with it. Like when you see a car ad on TV, that's probably not the car. That's probably the last thing they do with the manufacturing CAD is that ad. That's what I do. I take everything that the writers were going to do anyway, and the manufacturing CAD, and make one more or less use out of it. So it's like what I do is like the culmination of thousands of people who work
Kodiak.
that computer.
Welcome in with your old. You got your new rewards club status. He's a silvery.
There's a difference. 3D can be very painful, and CAD can.
He's catching up on you, Brian.
Also, CAD's heavyweight. I make it a lot lightweight, more lightweight, and
Good morning, Kodiak. We're watching an interview with AC Farley. He'll be at Free Comic Book Day this year, Jetpack Comics.
They use that program on Star Wars.
Oh, cool, Bradham. Yeah, I'm glad that you got that was useful for you too. And if you have any further questions or want me to explain anything there, happy to do it. But yeah, I'm glad that was helpful for you. A lot of times people ask me questions and then I launch into like a 10-minute answer and like I'll forget to run books. I'll just start talking about Ninja Turtles. So I'm always like nervous that there are people who are like, is this guy gonna run stuff? He just keeps talking about Ninja Turtles. So I'm glad, very glad that was useful for you too. It is kind of confusing. That's awesome. The type of people we like.
But they also said,
but yeah, it is kind of confusing, and even like I almost got into it with them too, but I was like gonna get into like how the side series have different volumes as well. So you've got Tales of the TMNT Volume 1, Tales of the TMNT Volume 2, and then even weird stuff like Turtle Soup, where Volume 1 of Turtle Soup is technically just one book, and Volume 2 is 4 books. So there's 5 total Turtle Soup books. Which you should start getting all the nuance is the right word, but all the sort of like intricacies of the turtle landscape, you can just get lost forever. Like that's not even mentioning, fan made projects. There's all sorts of weird stuff. There really is. And that's what's really cool about Turtles is like you pretty much will go as deep as you want it to go, Like it is confusing at first, for sure. It's kind of like you have to know a little bit of the history, maybe even a little bit of the politics sometimes to understand, like, for instance, why in this collected edition are these 20 books collected, but they skipped 3? Like they didn't collect 3 issues for some reason, and it's like because there's weird contract stuff with the way Mirage's contracts were originally written up, where like creators own the rights to the stories or characters in the stories, and it's like I said, it's just you gotta kind of have an idea of what the landscape is like, because like Turtles is owned by a big company now, and they're not going to pay, generally speaking, creators royalties on their stuff. They'll just not include their issues. There appear to be some exceptions to that rule, but like the Rivers one, a good example, and Turtles number 8 is another one, where like they're not included in modern collections. Give me 2 seconds, guys.
Well, I did that job up there for about 12 years, I think, and I freelanced a couple of those years, but it wasn't time for me. I did make good use of the year I was trying to freelance, and all I ended up doing was freelancing for the company that I just left. So I was like, well, why am I even doing this? I was trying to learn to paint. Oh, that's what I was going to tell you. When I was really, really young, like with my uncle, I started thinking about trying to draw. But then one day, me and my mom were waiting for my dad dad come out of work, pick him up, and I said to my mom, "Hey, when I grow up, I'm gonna work at the place just like my dad." And she went, "Oh my God!" Like it was an emergency. Oh my God, no, you have to be a white collar guy. And I started thinking, I don't know. I'm not even in school yet. I'm trying to figure out what that is a white collar guy for number one. But I did think, you know what?
Yeah, we are here to guide you along your turtle journey, wherever you may end up. Hey, Big O, welcome back, dude. I don't know if I mentioned it to you yesterday, but thanks so much for the review. It meant a lot to me, and I really appreciate you taking the time to do that. So if I didn't thank you yesterday, which I think I did, but I tried to thank everybody. I do not have those covers. Thanks for asking, though. All the turtle stuff we've got today is in the auction tab. There's over like 400 items in there. You can kind of search through. If it's not in there, I probably don't have it.
I went back there for work and I got laid off.
But always feel free to ask. Put any requests in the chat. Let me know. Happy to.
Now I was freelancing at night. But the thing that was my security went away, and the thing that I was just doing to make some extra money, now that's all I had. So I just went at it. I remember asking this lady at Bain Books when I got laid off. I called them up. And I was doing okay with them, doing jobs at night. But I said, hey, I'm available now for anything. I said, any chance I could get a little more work? And she goes, yeah, maybe if you don't book up. And I was like, what did I do? And I was doing Asimov's magazine, stuff like that. And so that was below. We moved from New Hampshire to Chicopee, Massachusetts to be closer.
I see Slabs has jumped up in the poll. I'm happy to go back through. We ran those at the start of the show, but I'm happy to go back through. We'll finish. We'll finish running the rack here. We've got a bunch of Last Ronin stuff, new stuff at the bottom there. I'll skip over that and skip over to run some more Mirage out of the boxes. But if anyone wants to see any Last Ronin, let me know. We got a ton of new Last Ronin in this week.
She has this great idea in the car.
Excuse me.
Hey, she's like, I'm thinking of all those kids that the art school we ran to. We had art school for years. She did. I helped with that. And she saw we had a comics course there, and I got jammed up with every Saturday, like 2 different classes, ones or years, and I even started doing this weird thing where I was separating out the ones that I liked. I said, be in one class, and then another class. So one very calm class, and the ones
I got everything loaded at this point.
I would start.
I might have a few new pieces here and there that I'm going to list, but probably what I've got, I will have another couple shipments coming in, but pretty much what I've got right now is what I'm going to have leading up to Free Comic Book Day. And I'm going to try to push for as many sales as I can without, I'm not a pushy seller by any means, but I'm going to work on, I may end up running 4 or 5 shows a week. To raise as much money as I can for Free Comic Book Day. I have more than enough. I'm pretty confident that, we're not going to sell 10 grand worth of stuff through my whatnot. You know what I mean? So that's more or less what I have set aside for the event. And we're not going to. I just want to make sure I have enough to cover anything anyone buys in store, or especially anything that anyone buys from like an artist or whatever. I'll have to pay the artist up front and then ship your stuff. So it'll be. Oh no! What happened? We've had a tragedy here. We got a couple awesome gifts from our friend Brian's Comics TMNT, which if you haven't given him a follow, definitely give him a follow. He's got some. So we've got some. The graveyard of last night's blind bag fiesta. See, we run random stuff all the time, guys. People didn't know that last night was the blind bag fiesta. Because I didn't know last night was going to be the blind bag fiesta. That's why. We all picked Yeah. We try to make memories here. That's going to be one of my fondest ones. Blind bag fiesta 06. Or 26. Man, I'm old.
guys in the neighborhood that, you know, kids that I'm like, hey, you want to order a comic store? And I did get some nice guys. That was
All right, guys, I'm gonna run this, but don't tell JC.
it's Saturday night. I have a painting I want to take over there.
But that's what we're all about. Making memories, community. It's the core of looking for TMNT for sure.
Story called Metamorphosis. So it's
I'll actually share code, yeah.
Giant bug.
You rock, dude.
And I did all kinds of I just did it up, and I tried to make it as unattractive as possible because I made the composition backwards, so it's leaning over and you're feeling like you're tipping over. And I also made the color unattractive, so it's good. But all that matters with looking at art is the intent. And well, you know, people aren't always going to do that. So if you're making some ugly stuff, maybe you're just going to go, well, that's.
Oh, that's the shirt, big O. That's awesome. I appreciate you guys.
So, I'm going to close the store up. I'm thinking about closing early because nobody's coming in there.
You guys are my favorite people. Did you know that?
Spalding, chubby dude comes in.
I know lots of people in real life, and none of them are as cool as you guys.
I've seen this guy.
Not a one.
Comes in, goes through like my box of $5 game art.
That's why I choose to hang out with you guys instead of
took a couple.
doing real life stuff.
He never really said much. Anyway, he's looking around.
Like, we ran for 4 hours last night. Like I've been doing like trying to keep it to 2 to 3 hours. You know. But yeah, we used to do 8-hour shows and stuff in the fall. When we first starting out, man, I would grind. Worth it though. Check messages when I can. I'm not doing that, Brian. You can't just come in here and start making demands. That's the thing.
Well, how much?
Like, I get it that you're a moderator now, so yeah.
Maybe make a deal, but I need to sell it for what I need, the money I need. So I said, I need.
Oh, Brian, wait until you're paid, man. Wait until you're comfortable. You know, there's no rush.
I said, yeah, you can, but you're
Don't worry about that.
So he writes a check, and I'm looking at it.
The one that I'm running is not.
Okay, no, you can take it.
I mean, you could have that one if it's still here, but I have another one that is set aside for you.
I sold the painting. I didn't have to go over to the convention, and everything.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw me run that. You're like, he's running it. What the fuck? Nah, I got 2 run. But to let you know, I've got it listed for $115. I was thinking the Brian price would be $90. You can let me know what you think. It's kind of like $30 a sig and a free book. That's the way I was thinking about it.
I was like, well, no,
but I think that's all right. Cool, man. Yeah. But don't be spending that new dog money on funny books now. You need to make sure that pup's well fed and loved. Send him all the love from Looking for TMNT. Oh, you know what, man? That's interesting. I just gave myself an idea. I know there's dog toys. I bet you I've got. I might have a toy for your new dog. I don't want to say too much, but there's a toy that, like a turtle's toy that Sasha has. How do they do with stuffed toys? They just gonna destroy it? Oh, I'm sorry, Kodiak. Which book was what there? The one. I'm sorry. I was.
I'm feeling friendly with these guys, so I did just go ahead and do it.
Brian book. Oh, hey, none of your fucking business. Why are you being so nosy?
That was pretty much
good. You didn't see us talking about your wrath, you know, poking and prodding. Totally joking, man. It's the triple sign Saturday morning adventures is what he's interested in. So he's interested in this. And like I said, I think he saw me run it and was like, oh no. But I have another one set aside for him. As I do. I thought about kind of advertising that. Like, if anyone ever wants to put stuff on hold, just let me know. Happy to put stuff on hold. But I figure if that gets too crazy, man, it'll get, like, I've got a good sorting system and all that. But, like, I don't want to have, like, 100 things on hold for, 50 different people. Like, that would be wild. I don't mind doing it for like our regular people who I know really well.
brushes, and then when you're
But I
making
figure if I put it in the show notes or something like that, people are just gonna come in and ask to put all sorts of stuff on hold, and it'll be like it'll turn into a mess.
Yeah,
But I generally have
for a while I was using
no issues with any of that,
that's
as you guys know.
probably making me hate comics.
Because I think I also have a toy set aside for you, Brian. It's like it's still listed. I just don't think it's going anywhere. But the 2012 graph, I got that set aside for you too. Don't let me forget. I put the toys in a different spot, kind of thing, because I don't like having toys around books. I feel like it's just a recipe for ding dings.
One I really love, H. Gumrich. It says it's a psychology.
Yeah, dude.
It's not.
I love doing comic retail, but I don't want to be like a comic retailer. Like so that's why I always say like we have like a community first sort of thing here. Like the core of this project, if you will, is just building a Turtles community around some cool stuff. But I have a second print, but unfortunately not a first print for sale right now. We have sold 4 since we started. They go pretty quick, man. I can't keep that book in stock. It doesn't matter what price I put on it.
And so I love that. That's where I pulled out.
Absolutely. I don't know if you know about the second print, but the second print is dope as well. It's actually my favorite cover. I love the first print cover. Don't get me wrong. I also love the back cover of the first print. Yeah, but the second print is probably my favorite cover in all of Turtles. I've sold like 3 of those, and I still have several in my collection, including a graded one. And like, I also have Topps did a series, Morning TMNT, and I have a graded card from that series. That's that cover as well. I kind of I'm obsessed with it. Look, Casey with his big ass gun.
What were some of your favorite?
So I've got this 27. That's probably mid. So we had a big 1,000 follower celebration, and it cleaned me out a lot of my mirage. I did list some more, but what you see if you go to the auction tab, all the Turtles is there. If you type in like Vol 1, VOL1, it'll pull up all the Volume 1. But it is easy too. Like all the Turtle stuff is in the auction tab. There's over 400 items in there, and then the buy it now is everything else: Marvel, DC, and Indie. But 27 is the latest I have right now. I have a few Tales issues. I don't know if you're looking for Tales. I have the later issue of Tales. I have 7 and 1. But right now it's this 27, some micro series books, and that's it for Volume 1. Thanks for asking, though.
Get used to what's going on, or you're gonna get your head bitten off.
I'll be getting more stuff in, and definitely give us a follow. We've got more inventory coming in the next few weeks, and then we're doing a huge sale from New Hampshire, the home of Turtles, for Free Comic Book Day. We'll be at an event with a bunch of Turtle artists. They're going to try to run some shows live from the show. So we'll have a whole new. We'll have a bunch of different inventory for those shows because we'll be running live from Jetpack Comics. And I think that when we're done here today, I'm actually going to set those shows up. So keep an eye out and bookmark those shows and bookmark all our future shows. We'll be doing like fun sales and giveaways and stuff. We did a bunch of giveaways last night. Our friend Kodiak was kind enough to promote the show, so we did some giveaways to celebrate that, and that was fun.
Kevin, I just remember Kevin. I was at the that guy's just full of love. He's just full of love, and he loves art, especially.
Welcome back.
Comics.
There you go. Hope you're doing good, dude.
Art, and he also loves artists.
Oh, nice snag, dude.
Thing I think what's happened that's just really floating his boat is he gets to be.
All right. That'll be on its way to you first thing on Monday. Appreciate you, dude. You leveled up in the rewards club. You'll get 2 more coupons for that. But I appreciate you supporting the show, dude. Thank you so much. Like I said, I'll have that out ASAP. Now we're just down to, we just have the two number ones, the graded number one and the raw number one for Tails Volume 1. We'll get into some Tails Volume 2 here, but if anyone has anything they want me to run, don't hesitate to let me know. We're just kind of working through all of our Mirage because it's winning the poll, and then I can go back through the slab since that seems to be creeping up a little bit.
And Mirage is the same thing. They're like, both places are like, we want to do more stuff now. All Jenkins wanted me to do a book with him, but it was all robots. I'd be doing nothing but robots for probably a year or more. I mean, even me designing robots, it's still a lot of robots. You know, I was gonna get bored. I always tell people, I can do a comic and I can think of a story, but I'm not a writer. I'm going to pick things I either want to draw or.
I'm thirsty. I'm gonna grab some water real quick, guys. I'm just gonna run this for like a minute. Sorry, I didn't have to run out yet.
That's all. Those two things are all I want. I want to draw what I want to draw, and I want someone to save somebody. I like it when they save someone.
Just a minute. I'm gonna grab a quick water.
I'm not into that. Like that last Batman movie, he was really kicking people's ass at the beginning. I understand he was vengeance at that point. I don't want that years era too that you were talking about. Yeah, what a pain in the ass that was, because people all think because you're with the turtle thing that you're rich too. I had that trademark searched and paid for, and I owned it, but I couldn't afford to protect it. Some seed futures company out in the Southwest have a convention they call 5 years.
Oopsies.
They thought I was rich, and they thought, here's where we cash in. They wanted to see the trademark compliance. I have the trademark, but it's not worth anything. You can't protect it. Mirage helped me. Got this guy to understand that I am not one of the rich guys, and that I'm not gonna be paying for anything. I just said, I just want us to leave each other alone, you know. I'm doing my thing, and so they changed their we want all the money and we want to sue you to I can do whatever I want with it, but they want like licensing fee for any toys or anything like a movie happens or anything like that. But I can do comics and I don't have to give them anything as long as it's comic book. So I still couldn't live with that when that was all over. And I just changed the logo and I changed the name of the back.
It's kind of interesting. He's talking about how the licensing and stuff works.
Everybody is telling me it's kind of OT. I was like, I don't know if I care about that. I've been around with that since I was like 8 years old. I almost don't want to give it to anyone. I almost don't want to share the dragon.
Yeah, the sea turtle's awesome. Turtle riding the turtle, baby. Turtle squared.
They'll pick my dragon head insignia. They're gonna want to go around with t-shirts of that and everything. Who will pick me out of the crowd then? After I'm there, or I could actually, maybe that's a good idea. I could be.
Yeah, I've started to get a lot more choosy with what's in my personal collection as I've gotten older. You know, the stuff that I have is stuff that I really, really want. And even then, like, I downsized. Like, a lot of the figures that I have listed came from my personal collection. They're just like, I kind of decided that I'm going to stay focused on comics. There'll be some figures that are like weird one-off, interesting, just like cool figures that I'll keep. But like most of the reissue stuff that I had, like I was like, you know what? I got them for like wall hangings basically, and my walls are all full. And I'm like, there's other stuff that I could be, you know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a few things like most of them. Like I got like the Jim Lee Raff. Like that's just a cool a cool thing. You know, I've got an error one where it's a Raphael inside of a Michelangelo package. So like the card and everything says Michelangelo, but it's actually Raph inside the thing. So I've got that. You know, like that's just a cool like one-off thing. I have the Power Rangers set, so the Turtles Power Rangers crossover. I have that because I also have the Eastman Virgin for #1 for that in the 9.8 graded. So I like displaying those next to each other. Yeah, same dude. I've got a few NECA figures, like weird NECA figures, like Old Man Raphael. Like he just appeared in one issue of Puma Blues, so I have it displayed with that. Handyman Donatello and Hunter Leonardo, same deal. They're next to a graded copy of issue 9. So I just got like, if you're to, I want it to be at the point where like if you came into the room, you'd know it was like a Ninja Turtles themed room, but it would be all stuff that like you really wouldn't see commonly. You know what I mean? This is why like a lot of the stuff I listed was like more common stuff from my personal collection. Anyway, I had to kind of decide like, is this going to go up in value before I die? And like if the answer is no, I'll probably let it go. Okay, yeah, I swing by Target, so I'll take a. You know, I don't know if they're selling on the website yet, but like that was a Target. Like they're Target exclusives, I think, to start for the haulathon. But then NECA ends up selling them on their website every time, and you end up being able to find them elsewhere. I was just sold out on the website. Did you check Target?
Pete and Mike were there 2/3 of the
check. Let me check Target's website.
just made up new stuff. I've got this thing I've been fooling around with since I was 8. You know, I don't want to put a stain on it. So I was like, we got the first numbers, and they paid for the books, but that's all it did. And this number 2 numbers were non-existent. So I was just like, I am not.
I don't actually. He's not coming up.
Put a stink on my ID just for nothing. Number 2s are always bad numbers, but we were not gonna pick it up, and it turned out right. I was right too. The third one was just the same. We couldn't get any traction.
They've got Mirage Raft.
The thing about a Mirage.
They got Mirage Raft for $35. You got yours for $15.
That they have.
What a deal! Where'd you get it at?
They're doing another.
Oh, they never set up a solve. You know what's funny, man? It's really not all of that. You know what I mean? They put up a cardboard like display. I like throw some figures on it. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, and we were all trying to have a please name it superheroes. Like
so NECA has it.
Sounds pretty goofy, doesn't it?
Just so you know.
Some magic can happen. So
like I said, it's limited to Target for like the start, but like shortly after they like NECA sells it on their website. So you can get it from their website if you did want it. I'll keep an eye out for it for sure. But we're gonna give you a heads up.
But they're not gonna work on it. That's what they're not gonna do it.
That was like a shared universe kind of thing. What was Mike's book called again?
Xenotech.
What are you talking about? Xenotech. I've got the first issue of that. Two different covers. I was gonna list them, but I couldn't figure out what was the A cover and what was the B cover, so I was like, screw it, I'm keeping them.
Good at it. Can I for 1 second about your process stuff when you're painting these covers for Turtle Soup, one of my favorite Turtles pieces of all time, that I ripped out of the 94 calendar.
All right, I think this will cap off the Mirage. We've been through every volume. Looks like next up is Slabs. We've already been through Slabs once, but we can run back through them. Maybe I'll run some of them on sale or something as a surprise. I can do that. I can do whatever I want. You just can't tell me what to do. You can't stop me.
My daughter has one, and she loaned it to me so I could take a picture of it.
Well, like I'll be doing that leading up to Free Comic Book Day, kind of like surprise sales and stuff like that. Like last night we ran blind bags for $1. We had fun with that.
All right, Greg. I don't see really well other people see it. I just know that I'm making it so that people will like it. And after so long, you start to be really presumptuous when you're just doing art, expecting everyone to like it. And I've been thinking about that too. So
my nose.
Why do you just expect? Well, I don't know. Because it happens. Anyway, those paintings are probably like 8 by 30 something. Yeah, they're big. And that's what I want to do too. That's why I was really glad getting that, getting to do it. I was getting kind of bummed because I had to do everything so fast to make money. And the game art and everything, I'm trying to do the best I can do, but I have to do this. Like,
sorry, guys. Yeah.
So I was getting quicker, but I wanted to do larger scale.
It's that time of year.
So I could take it to the finish.
I was just blowing my nose.
Never kind of had a.
It's been warm here, so the pollen's kicked up. And I get pretty bad sinus infections. It's not so bad right now, but there are some days, like, I'll be on and Elle will talk like this. Like, they'll be talking like this. People are like, you're all right. Like, yeah, no problem. Just can't breathe. We're good other than that, though. So it's starting, but it's not. I think, you see, I got to knock on wood, man. I've been good so far. Like, it's not too bad. Like, I got a little bit of runny nose at different times of the day. But it's not like packed into my eyes yet. You know what I mean? Like once it gets like that, dude, I'm like, this, like life just miserable. Oh yeah, I was gonna run back through the slabs. Sorry. We'll run some slabs and we'll play. Run it for what I feel like. It's kind of like, what do you want to pay? We've got different games we play here. Sometimes we pay what you want to pay, where you tell me what you want to pay for something, and most of the time it ends up working out. But this is a new game called Run It For Whatever I Want. So we normally run this for $175. And it's been a slow morning, so these are the slow morning deals. We're probably not going to rerun them, so if someone comes in later, don't tell them. Just kidding. So you run it for $175 or run it for $150. Have I seen the Jetpack Journeys 9 cover yet? Less anxiety inducing. I know. I'm gonna try to. That's one of my goals for 2026 is to expand the amount of games I can play through this. Like I'm not a big fan of the like gambling side of whatnot, so I'm not really sure. But like games like what do you want to pay and what did I call it? Run it for whatever I want, something like that. These games are fun. I thought about doing like a.
He did it like so small that you don't have the room.
What's up, Tyrell? Good to see you, dude.
So I was like.
So we normally run this one for $165, but for today, Saturday morning surprise sale, we'll run it for $145.
Right, you're right. I completely forgot about those. Your art's everywhere in Turtles history.
Again, we're gonna run through the slabs because it's what was winning. We went through all the Mirage. We're going back to the slabs because that was what was second place in the poll here. And we're running through with some different discounts, some surprise discount for our loyal fans. We normally run this one for $125.
Do you ever see yourself?
for this morning's special Road to Free Comic Book Day show.
I could.
Do 100.
I don't want to do work for hire stuff though. I want to have an agreement where I don't lose control of the art. But yeah, I do. I want to, and I even think of doing it myself. But I would love to work with somebody that's a good writer and do something like that. I think. But I'm troubled. I'm excited. If I get bugged in any way, shape, or form, I may
Normally run this for 160. We'll run it at a discounted 140.
That's where I'm at right now. I want to do art, whatever it is. I want to do art. I don't view comics as anything but art, or even this tech work. It's art. They don't like for me to call it art, though, technically, but it is. And I gave myself the job title of artist. Thank you. But yeah, I'll tell you what. I love the trolls. I love those guys. I lived with them in my head, and we did some good. We fought battles, you know? And it's kind of like it's sort of real in my head. I just love those guys. Yeah, so I guess the answer is yes. But then I would disappoint someone trying to.
I like how EC's got the Starship background going on.
Do you still stay in touch with people,
It's
Jeff?
nice touch.
Do you still talk?
Yeah, not very much though. Now and then.
Normally run this one for 225. We'll run it for an even 200 today. Thanks for hanging out, guys.
To get to him, I sent him a, the Zeroid robots? I was going nuts last year buying all kinds of Zeroids and Mason stuff. I have so much of that stuff now because I had that when I was a kid, but I had like Major Matt. I didn't have like a bunch of it. And last year I was like, the internet can give me all the Major Matt Mason stuff.
Last but not least, the big boy.
I lost track of what I was talking about again.
CGC must have been so pissed when these came out. They're like, we got to make another type of slab for these fucking things, like, because it's not quite a mag. I mean, it is a magazine slab, but the way the inside setup is not the same. I think it's not as wide. Normally run it for 200. We'll run it for 180. You know what? 175.
Yeah, that's the two.
Let's go.
I thought, my mood got elevated somehow, and I started to. Well, I know one thing. I have problems, and one of them got solved. Medical problem. I was able to eat again like a normal human being. Before that, I was just miserable. I didn't want to be around anyone eating because.
Right back at you, Brian. Thanks for chilling, dude.
But that got cleared up, and I think it elevated my mood, and I was.
Always a pleasure. Have fun with the new pup this weekend. And your stuff is on the way.
Okay. That's why I was getting busy on those comic projects I was talking about. And then I got invited to a con, the 40th anniversary con.
This one's signed by the artist Rich Woodall.
I have some display stuff like the art fairs and stuff, but I don't have anything.
What's up, Joel? Your stuff is in the mail, my friend. Dropped it off at the post office this morning, as promised. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help you. Welcome in. Feel free to hang out. We're watching an AC Farley interview today.
But as I got closer to it, I realized I'm having trouble I was trying to do the drawing. I'm having trouble with that. It's not just about. Mostly, I have a hard time sitting up for a long time. I don't want to just.
Of course, my pleasure.
Draw. I can do that, but you're not getting.
Phoenix, how we doing?
I need to sit up and work. I'll do things differently if I just sit. I'll kind of go nuts. Let my hand be.
It's a new exclusive we just got in this week for Journeys. You can ask anything you want.
Made them look roughed up, all right, but
I might just ignore it.
and the drawing was rough.
But you can
It took
ask.
me a long time to do it because I kept trying to.
Just kidding. I never ignore anybody.
So
So I kind of always set everything to buyer pays up to a set shipping cost. So like with my shows, you'll never pay over $9.21 for shipping. That's kind of what I have my profile set to. That's the shipping profile I use. So when you select it, it'll $9.21 basically covers most flat rate shipments. Now, do what you want. Sometimes if you make the buyer pay for shipping, they're paying for it with every item, and it's like people don't want to do that. So you got to kind of figure out how you want to run it. The way, like I said, if you do the buyer pays up to a set amount, you want to turn on flat rate so that you can ship in medium flat rate boxes and large flat rate boxes. When you select like buyer pays up to a set amount. Oh, thanks, Mike. That means a lot. Thanks for sharing the show. Just keep in mind you can get hosed on it if you're not careful. So, because Whatnot gives you 5 adjustments, so you can adjust a label for free. I think up to a certain amount, like up to 5 times. So if you get smacked on it, they have some leeway. But if someone ends up buying 30 books from you, or a bunch of books from you, or if you have different items, you end up with a heavy package that costs more than $9.21. You're going to be strapped for the difference. So just be careful. One time I shipped 32 pounds of books, and the buyer paid $9.21 for shipping. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I ended up having to do a label adjustment of like almost $100, which was fine. It wasn't a big deal. The way that the deal worked out, it was all groovy. But just be careful. You're probably not going to ship 32 pounds of books. That was a very specific. Sometimes we run at different comic stores, and there was a big lot that a dude ended up picking up. But running it with the flat rate like that, like buyer doesn't pay more than a certain amount, it makes things easy. Like I said, most of what you're going to sell, especially if it's books, you're going to be able to fit into either a comic mailer or a flat rate envelope. Or not a flat rate, well, maybe flat rate envelope, but flat rate box. So you kind of cover yourself there. Just make sure you turn on flat rate in your shipping settings. Oh, you're talking about the weight too. Okay, yeah. I always do 8 to 11 ounces. Yeah. Sometimes my labels come in over, like way over. But because like obviously like 2 comic books is not 22 ounces. It's not even 16 ounces. So it's one of those things, but it's better to go too big than too little. Like I did 5 to 7, and it was like right on the cusp, man. Like there were a few I had to do label adjustments for like an ounce or 2, just because if they do end up getting 4 or 5 books, like you end up being under or over rather.
We're here to recover your money. I don't believe you. That's not very nice.
But yeah, I've run with 8 to 11, and I've never had an issue. Like to be honest with you, there's sometimes that the label is over, like just because Whatnot, like I said, 2 books ends up being 22 ounces, and I'll just leave it because it generates it. After a certain point, I think it's 16 ounces. It'll generate it as priority instead of ground advantage, and it gets books to people quicker. And like I said, my post office doesn't seem to care. I don't think the post office does care they only care if your package is overweight. If you're underweight on what it says in the label, it messes their logistics up a little bit, but they don't care.
The late 90s are considered a dark age for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
The cartoon was over, and its successor, Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation, failed to stay on the air. Turtlemania was long gone.
Welcome in, guys. Give us a
Image
follow for
Comics
regular
run was
Turtle
canceled
shows and check the
left
show notes for
clear.
info on the show today.
But that dry spell ended
And check out
in June of
lookingfortmnt.com to join our
Peter
community and
Laird
stay
is doing
connected.
assignment
And
with Jim Lawson
let me
and
know if there's
Dan
anything I
Berger.
can do for you.
While there, he met three young
Feel free
women
to hang out.
rapidly TMNT
We're
fans.
watching. What are we watching today? I think we finished the AC Farley interview.
An impact on their lives.
The story
This
of
event
TMNT
inspired Peter to create a new
TMNT Volume
series
4.
with Jim Lawson,
Why not?
Eric Talbot, and Michael Dooney. A year later, Peter became
Yeah,
the
cards
sole
are
owner of the
different. Yeah, very
franchise
different.
after buying Kevin Eastman's share of the rights. After this, he started working with Mirage.
JC, good morning. How we doing?
Ways to bring the Turtles back to TV and the toy shelves.
Your stuff is at the post office. Everyone's stuff from last night is in the mail. Check is in the mail.
That died in development hell. TMNT returned with Volume 4, a run of issues that decided to make the Image Comics run.
You're welcome, Phoenix.
Despite
Happy to help anytime.
The reason to ignore
All
Volume
about
3
helping other
was
sellers where, like, where I
Peter
can.
to continue from a point he wouldn't have taken the Turtles to. He preferred to let that story stay in its own universe as Gary Carlson's vision. But now that Peter Laird was in charge, he started correcting some things that bothered him.
I think I threw a little something extra in there for you.
Michelangelo's name.
You know how we do.
Kevin and Peter made a typo, and the character's name was Michelangelo, with an extra A.
I hope you don't have it, but you know.
Shows and movies. But from then on, the character was named Michelangelo. Volume 4 had a very successful first issue in December of 2001, which eventually returned for a second printing. On the artistic side, Laird used duo shades for the first 8 issues, but later started doing them directly on Photoshop over the ink pages. He would also do the lettering with Quark Express on his Mac. He was fortunate enough to work with Jim Lawson, who would always leave enough space for word balloons, despite not working with a full script. Inks were done initially by Peter Laird, later by Eric Talbot, and in the most recent issue, completed by Steve Levine.
Got tagged for shipping
All covers were
twice.
painted by Michael Dooney based on art by Jim Lawson. It's worth mentioning this now.
One for
This
8
volume
and one
is still
for
ongoing
6.
and may never be finished, so most of the
I'm
plots
not
I'll
sure
be
what you mean by
discussing
that.
are incomplete.
I definitely didn't send you 2 packages, if that's what you mean.
There's one main plot to discuss.
Like I said, I laid lifting up and then I scanned it in. And I scanned in all 16.
When she was a bit younger, Shadow, Casey's adopted daughter, got in trouble with a pack of werewolves. They threatened to get revenge on her on one fateful full moon night. Knowing she wouldn't be safe in the city, she moved to Splinter from Northampton, not to the now iconic farmhouse, but to Stainless Steel Steve's house, a retired superhero from the Justice Force who also lived with a superhero android known as Metalhead. She lived there for 5 years, even after making peace with the werewolves. This is a story I will cover in a different video. It is also essential to note the timing of Volume 4. The book came out just a few months after the events of September 2001. There's not enough space in this video to talk about the repercussions this dramatic event had on popular culture, but let's just say that mainstream comic books...
Yeah, message me, because I'm curious what you mean.
But other comics became very political, and some even dared to question some of the decisions of the United States government.
I was looking through the shipments, like everyone's, you know, it's like I didn't double ship a package or double label anything like that.
And in that category, it's more in line
Because like I said, I scanned everything in, so it was like, you know, I would have been like, oh, I
humans finally found
scanned this twice.
Technology after making contact with extraterrestrials.
Like, it lets you know if you've already scanned in the shipment kind of thing.
It also started
So
going
I'm curious.
dark places about losing constitutional rights, radicalization, xenophobia, and the perils of going to war blinded by traumatic emotions. The first few issues were centered around an event that would change the world forever. And it all started on the dark side of the moon as the Utrons and the Fugitoids were getting a visitor to travel to Earth. It was winter in the city, and in a scene that was a callback to the very first Ninja Turtles comic, the Turtles were fighting against the Manhattan Militia, a street army of the East Side that confused them for aliens and were out to kill them. Many years have passed since the events of TMNT Volume 2. The Turtles were now in their 30s and felt much older and slower. And of course, the cold of winter didn't help. It's worth mentioning that April and Casey were also in their 30s. I'll let you do all the mathematical gymnastics about that. In one of the snowmobiles, Donatello got into a subway tunnel where he completely lost control of the vehicle and had to jump before its explosion. A hidden room was exposed in the blast, revealing an abandoned armored truck. As for the turtles' allies, April and Casey, now married, had been trying to have a baby for the past 5 years without success. Shadow, on the other hand, had a boyfriend named Jay in Northampton, and she would frequently train with Metalhead. Back to Michelangelo, he woke up strapped to a stretcher in an ambulance, but when he tried to escape from it, he realized this was a flying ambulance. He got rescued by a strange winged being named Raptor. Mikey later woke up in a secret hospital for superpowered beings named Kurtzberg Memorial, obviously named after the comic book legend Jack Kirby. During his initial panic, he discovered that the place was run by a retired hero, Zippy Lad. I'll talk about the Justice Force in a different video. Kurtzberg Memorial was only one of 3 of its kind worldwide. It was solely devoted to giving healthcare to super beings, mutants, and other exceptional cases. Back to the sewers, Donnie brought Raph and Casey to the armored truck, where they found 3 dead bodies inside. The truck was clearly stolen, but how it ended up there and why it was hidden was never explored. In a completely separate storyline that will only come back later in this video, in Guayana Highlands in southern Venezuela, some scientists were exploring a tepuy, trying to gridwalk a couple of 100 square miles of terra incognita. They were looking for a cryptozoological specimen, some kind of dinosaur-like creature spotted by the locals. But then they ran into a creature who shot them with something. Make a mental note of this, as we'll explore it later. On the dark side of the moon, the Utroms finally separated their base from the surface and started their trip to Earth. But of course, an object coming from the moon was hard to hide. The US Air Defense started tracking its presence, despite them jamming their frequency. People at the Air Defense headquarters could tell that the object came from the dark side of the moon. Not knowing what its intentions were, they went to DEFCON 3.
It's not
ships,
showing
and
me.
airplanes got ready for war. The National Guard was called to several cities, including New York City, which was on a very special edge given recent events. Casey, Don, and Raph managed to make the truck work again, but by the time they reached the surface, they found themselves in a brave new world, one where people were running in total panic at the sight of flying tugs.
Okay.
The Air Force attacked the flying base, but it had a perimeter shield that prevented any damage. The base landed on the sea and set itself over the sea level. The media was on alert, reporting the news of this
That is weird,
presence.
dude. Hold on a
A tug
second.
came out from the base at some point, dragging the Space Shuttle Defiant, a ship that had been lost in space for weeks and presumed gone. They left the shuttle in front of the UN building, where the crew came out alive and then proceeded to introduce their new friends, the Utroms. After a minor funny incident, the Utroms were welcomed to Earth. Curious about the return of the Utroms, Mikey and Raph decided to check out the base. But on their way out of the sewers, they crossed paths with the Fugitoid. For more information about this character, check out this other video.
It's weird. The shows are set to that. I can reach out to Blindback. I can reach out to Blindback. I can reach out to What Now for you.
He announced they were not here to invade.
Or I don't mind sending you something free with your next order to make up for the fact that they did that. That's weird.
They could open the planet to other societies, cultures, science, and
that was a pop-up show, so it's like all my other shows. I just checked them. Their shipping is capped at $9.21, but I can't find a way to check if maybe I accidentally made that show without the shipping cap, which would be the first time that's ever happened.
If after that period, Earth decided that the Utroms were no longer welcome, then they would leave and try again in 100 years.
I was trying to look at the shipping settings for that.
Despite Splinter vouching for the Utroms, Shadow found herself wondering what their real intentions were. Their presence also put the Manhattan militia in a xenophobic mood. One of the many initial promises of the Utroms was to help scientists.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye out.
A disease that was very similar to some other diseases they'd fought before. But despite this promise,
thanks for bringing it to my attention.
Organizing against not only the Utroms, but also all kinds of alien visitors on Earth. Because of this hateful response, the whole world had to adapt to the new normal, especially religions and governments. To ensure aliens were free to walk in any country, the Xenoform Protection Act was created. But the Utroms had much to lose because of these loud hate organizations. One particular Utrom named Clag kidnapped the leader of one of these groups and later impersonated him. During that act, he tried to show others that changing one's mind over these polarizing subjects was possible. This was an early sign that the Utrom's actions weren't always aligned with their messages.
Weird. It doesn't seem like it's happened to anyone
Turtles
else.
stayed close to the Utroms.
Sorry, I'm just going through
even
looking
had
at some
space
stuff,
adventures
guys,
with
from
them.
last night's show.
They even gave Mikey a temporary pet bunny to help him overcome his sadness after losing Clunk. But that's a story for another video.
Very strange.
Another of the Utrom's missions on Earth was to study sea currents, to better understand climate change and how it could affect the planet's future. During this period, the turtles also became aware of another race very similar to the Triceratons.
Not at all, dude.
Both races had
Stuff like that I always like to know about.
and hated each other on a cellular level. After 6 months, the Utrom base opened to the public and became a nexus of
Like I'm super paranoid as it is. Like I got, for instance, I got some new tape in, and I tested. Like I printed a label, just a random label, and like taped it to the package, and was like, all right, I'm gonna give this 24 hours. Like now, like anytime I get like new tape, I have to make sure it isn't gonna like do something weird with the ink on the label. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I print from an inkjet now. I'm thinking it's an inkjet. We don't use the thermal. I don't play games. That print is dead to me. It's been dead to me for a while.
And Michelangelo. Donatello considered having different colored bandanas, but they found the concept a bit dorky. As to what these symbols
That's
he had something in mind when he designed them, but he quickly forgot what they were. Because of these restrictions on weapons, the Foot Clan won the security contract at the base, as ninjas were good at empty-hand fighting. Everything was fine until April passed through a weapon detector and made the alarm go off. The Utrom guards quickly recognized April and had nanobots inside her body. They were, in fact, thousands of Utrom nanobots. A prototype that was stolen from them during their previous stay on Earth by one scientist they hired, Baxter Stockman, who later injected them in April. I went over the details of this event in this other video. Around this time, we got formally introduced to Glurin, a Utrom working on his theories for modifications of the translocation matrix, with the idea of moving objects through space, dimensions, and time. In this way, he spied out an alternate universe where the turtles were superheroes.
Don't believe
Back to the April situation, the turtles
I think that he got his money back from whatnot, and I didn't get penalized for it because it didn't.
However, there was no evidence for that. Unfortunately, the nanobots started assaulting April's brain and her nervous system, aware they were being watched. This caused April to fall into a coma. The Utroms called for Robin, her older sister, to be at the base in case they needed a donor. But when they did a genetic check to see if they were compatible, the Utroms discovered they weren't even sisters. They took samples from April's parents' graves and discovered that April was not related to them. And that wasn't even counting for some peculiar genetic marker anomalies in April's DNA. In Northampton, Shadow's boyfriend, Jay, started spying on her house, intrigued by the way she kept avoiding bringing him home to meet her family. Then he found out about Splinter, and right after that, he got caught by Metalhead. The kid was taken into the house by Stainless Steel Steve, who later called Louis Bronze, a character you may remember from Volume 2. Bronze was able to corroborate with his mental powers that Jay was being honest, but he proceeded to erase his memories anyway, just to be sure.
Yeah,
Back
just
at the
going through
base
checking
after
all
a
these
heated
orders.
confrontation
It's
between
so
Leonardo
weird.
and Chao Joe, one-foot ninja with bad history with Leo, Karai interceded. Since the events of Volume 2, the Turtles and Karai have been enemies occasionally. But at this moment in particular, they were allies. Karai did seem particularly interested in Casey's drama with April, who was now being eaten alive by the nanobots. As I explained in the Baxter video, Donatello left the base and returned to the city to visit Baxter at his secret lab, right after checking out the latest iMac. Baxter mentioned having figured out a way to create a time machine, but Donnie quickly tried to make him help them fix April.
No sweat.
Baxter refused many times, proving to Donnie that he was irredeemable, so he put him out of his misery and returned to the base. There were 700,000 nanobots inside of April, and since they couldn't kill them without killing April, Lauren came up with the idea of fighting them with nano-turtle bots. The turtles were connected to them at the base, and they would give instructions to the nano-turtle bots in April's body at Kurtzberg Memorial through the internet. This worked well, and the Nano Turtlebots started killing the Nanobots ninja style. But at the same time, at the offices of the New York Journal, someone received an envelope from an organization named Jihad, with an X, containing a CD. The man inserted the CD into his iBook and played it with QuickTime. Now, you normally wouldn't do such a thing, but this was a Mac, and as you know, Macs were less vulnerable to vandalware than PCs. And by the way, Peter Laird was simply a complete Apple fanatic. None of these were product placements. As you should have expected, the CD contained a xenophobic video about God making Earth for humans, not xenoforms. And the person in the video announced that a week from then, they would strike the first blow in their holy war to liberate the Earth. The editor stopped the video, ready to throw it away. But then he heard an explosion. The message was a week old. That explosion happened at a place where some aliens were at work. And unfortunately, it damaged the internet C cables that went to Kurtzberg Memorial. This affected the data stream between the turtles at the base, and without the turtles' input, the Nano Turtlebots defaulted to rest mode. While all this was happening, Splinter peacefully died of natural causes at home. And if you're wondering why the Rat King was there, you can check out this other video. Back at the hospital and without any hope to reestablish the connection in time to save April, Clarence let the surgeon know that he had enough data from the stream to feed the Nano Turtlebots with the skills they'd used before. This proved effective, even more so than the turtles themselves. Sadly, Stockman prepared a Mega Nanobot, a weapon of mass micro-destruction that was alive, inert, and undetectable until it sensed the destruction of all the other nanos. And to make things more critical, he was going directly to destroy April's brain. Seeing this, Clarence sent all the remaining Nano Turtlebots to fight the Mega Nanobot and finally destroy it. Only 4 Nano Turtlebots survived. After retrieving them, Lauren preserved them for further study. Who knows? Maybe they'd come in handy some other day. April was finally stable, and everyone was happy, until Steve called the hospital asking for Leo and told him that Splinter was dead. The Turtles returned to Northampton to give their final goodbyes to their father figure. But while they were preparing for the funeral, Donatello took a DNA sample of Splinter without his brothers knowing. Many guests from stories, told and untold, appeared for the event, with Radical and Renette making very special entrances. Renette's presence sparked some curiosity from April, something that I'll follow up on later in this video. The Turtles burned Splinter's body, and all the guests slowly left, except for Leo, who was the last to leave. After this, Casey Jones, Donnie, and Raph had a couple of adventures testing Gluren's machine. They ended up discovering other universes, and they met the cowboys of Mumesa, Cuddly, and even found out the existence of the Turtleverse in a story against the Utron Preserva. I covered these in this other video. With Splinter gone and the Turtles being free to explore the world, Peter Laird separated them into their own storylines. Leonardo's call to action came from a specific corner of this universe after the Foot Clan found itself being chased and exterminated by some weird-looking Aztec warriors. Karai contacted Leonardo to ask for his help with the case, after one of these warriors killed 23-foot ninja. The whole thing was a setup to kill and study one of these beings, who have been after them for 8 months since they appeared in Japan. They've been so effective at hunting down the Foot Clan that they've already killed every active Foot Clan member worldwide, including most of the United States branches. The New York branch was the last one standing. After the autopsy, they determined these warriors had no gender, and instead had large brains and incredible physicality. Every time they killed a ninja, they left a triangular tile as part of some sort of ritual. They also used a very special kind of sword that looked like a mako whittle, a Mesoamerican kind of weapon, but these ones were made of a carbon fiber composite. The warrior was also wearing some sort of lucky charm on their neck, a coin, a United States coin to be exact, with the head of President Al Gore. This implied that perhaps these warriors came from a different universe or timeline. Leonardo quickly noticed that the warriors seemed attracted to certain Foot Clan warehouses storing copies of a book. Karai was aware of this, but refused to give much information. By the time Leonardo had a chance to fight one of these warriors, they were under the impression that he was a demon conjured by the Foot Mystics to protect their work. Leo was almost killed, had it not been for his shell. The rest of the Foot Clan interceded and took down the warrior without killing them. The clan fixed Leo's shell with a special bio-epoxy explicitly made for the turtles, based on several samples they got from them over the years. During the interrogation, the warrior called Karai the daughter of evil, and they identified themselves as Three Moon Jaguar. They said it was their holy duty to prevent the sowing of the Five Dunes. This confirmed Leonardo's suspicions that they were going after the clan because of something mystics did. The warrior said the Foot Clan was toying with the powers of an evil book.
The past
Then
and the
proceeded
present
to inflict a coronary
collide.
infraction upon themselves and die. Suspecting Karai was covering something, Leo went to another book warehouse and checked out the nature of the books they were publishing. It was a book with a big N on its cover. Inside it were all spells, incantations, and mystic potions written in an ancient language that Leonardo recognized. After confronting her, Karai kept making excuses about the book being unimportant, but Leo knew better. He studied with his master Splinter about these things, and he came to think this book was one of the 9, some legendary books. Karai's insistence that these books were nothing to worry about were making him think she was being controlled by something supernatural. He went back to the lair to study Splinter's old scrolls and books to hopefully shed some light on the situation. Things had changed while he was away. Raphael was now a monster, and Michelangelo was missing without a trace. But I'll go over those stories later. While studying the scrolls, he discovered a loose back panel hiding a secret compartment with papers. By reading these strange papers, he discovered the Battle Nexus's existence. And mixed with these papers, he found a drawing of the Mako Weedle from those warriors. Leonardo then realized these were drawn by Splinter himself. It took him a few days to decode the papers, but Leonardo figured out the ritual to open a portal to the Battle Nexus, which according to the papers was where the warriors came from.
By the way, Kodiak, thanks again for all the engagement on social, liking the posts and everything.
On the other side, he found strange flora and fauna.
I know I probably don't thank you enough for that, but I noticed it a lot and I really appreciate it. Definitely helps a lot with our visibility and stuff, especially because we're just starting out. Like that organic traffic really helps us out, so I appreciate you, dude.
After talking a little bit, Jorah mentioned seeing Amato Splinter fighting a couple of times, but then they got ambushed by a group of warriors searching for some informal competition. Leonardo was alone in this, as Jorah was merely a greeter, but the fight got interrupted by a Mograthine, a deer that got transformed into a monster after drinking the water Leonardo used to access the Battle Nexus.
I appreciate it, dude. It helps out a ton. Did you see AC Farley followed our Facebook account last night?
During the fight, Leonardo received a surprising assist from someone who looked a lot like the Shredder. After slaying the creature,
I'm a Raj artist. Officially follows. Looking for TMNT.
One of the finest warriors in the Battle Nexus, Oroku Yoshi, sometimes known as the Shredder. This was when Jord explained to Leonardo that the Battle Nexus was an intersection point for many realities, and a good number of similar parallel realities, but with key differences. The Aztec-looking warrior showed up intending to fight Yoshi, but Gyoji, an arbiter of the Battle Nexus, appeared in front of them and repeated the rules. They could only fight within the rules of the formal contest, and this ambush was a dishonorable assault. This dissuaded the warriors. After seeing Leonardo, Gyoji went to the daimyo of the Battle Nexus and told him about his presence, referring to him as the right Leonardo. The daimyo then realized that if Leonardo was there, then what he had feared had finally come to pass. He also imagined Leonardo had many questions and they should have a talk. This is when we found out the daimyo was Splinter, probably a younger Splinter. So, what happened here? I'll explore this plot again later with the Raphael storyline. But I'm under the impression that, at least at this point, the Splinter that died was an old version of himself. But something would happen to Splinter at some point that would make them different enough. More on that later. Yoshi said these weird warriors were called the Warriors of Perfect Virtue. The virtuous used to have a gender, but over millennia they evolved into a philosophy that regarded sexuality as an offense to the spirit. So they began reproducing in asexual ways. Still, whenever someone was born with reproductive organs, they killed them and displayed their bodies as reminders of the sins of gender. And as this was their strong belief, they didn't keep it to themselves. And they recently have been trying to teach their ways beyond their own system, destroying other civilizations. They even went to the extent of creating armies to convert many of these worlds to their way of life. They also went against those who dealt with sorcery or magic, which they considered antithetical to sacred law. Yoshi saved someone from them several years ago, which is why they wanted him dead. When they were ready to call it a day, Yoshi received a message for taking Leonardo to see the daimyo the following day. And that was all that was ever published about this plot. I'm not exactly sure
We're running this one for 165.
If the story came out today, it would have been
It's only
misinterpreted.
its second show, but let's go ahead and just run it for 150 for fun.
But it is crucial to make a distinction that the virtuous were against sexuality, not gender. Reading the story in the context of when it came out, it seems to offer a look at the effect of personal beliefs on world politics, especially with countries that didn't have a separation of church and state and felt that other countries' freedoms were an offense to their way of life. And certain religions still do genital mutilation as standard practice, so it was probably inspired by that. Let's move on to Donatello's storyline, or at least his first storyline, as his arc will continue into Raphael's plot. It all started in Venezuela, as a group of Utrons.
We'll see. I have not been able to successfully keep this book in stock for very long,
they need to
but
retrieve any pollutants left there
I
found them and accuse them of ruining the planet. But once
happy
there,
to run
they
it
were
for what I
attacked
just
by
ran
some
it for.
dinosaurs that ate
If you
almost
decide
all
you
of
want
them.
it.
The last survivor was able to send a message to the base before being eaten off camera. The Utrons contacted Donatello to help them solve the mystery of what happened there. Donnie accepted, as this was just after the death of Master Splinter, and the layer reminded them too much of him. They explained to Donnie that the development of the transmat device generated a lot of waste substances that needed to be disposed of. We know
This is a really cool blank for the 2012 annual.
It's
It's an exclusive cover.
So at the time, since they were in hiding, they
Since they're
picked
getting tougher and tougher to find, I'm surprised I got one in.
location that would allow them to dispose of them temporarily. But on their way to the temple, the vessel crashed, and they never heard from that crew of 7, who were then assumed to have perished. After seeing the footage of those raptors talking, they suspected they were mutants from those wastes. The whole thing needed to remain secret to avoid the embarrassment of the Utrons contaminating the planet they came to help heal. By the time they arrived at the location, they noticed the previous tug was completely salvaged. Before even landing, they got shot by some creature on land. Donatello fired back, blowing up the creature's arm. After investigating the arm, Donnie found it looked like Utron flesh. The talking raptors quickly attacked them, but they came prepared for them. But then they were surprised by 2 wooden creatures that shot at them with a strange device. Donnie woke up to find himself with that human expedition leader I explored earlier in this video, who's been captured there for the past 7 months. He then realized they were inside of some kind of structure, and that they'd been miniaturized. After meeting their captors, they realized they were speaking in Utron dialect known as High Utron. One of these wooden creatures finally made contact with them and confirmed they were the Utrons from that original trip. Since they couldn't send a signal without it being picked up by the humans, they did their best to survive. Over time, they noticed that some of the mutagen leaked, causing mutations in the flora and fauna, including the wooden creatures and the big reptiles. They took advantage of the reptiles and used them for transportation and defense. But once the reptiles started showing signs of intelligence and speech, they started losing their grip on them. The raptors thought they were being enslaved by the Utrons and became mortal enemies. The Utrons also created their new organic exoskeletons that had a longer time span than the mechanic ones. After a few years, they made a discovery. They created the quantum inversion redimensioning, which allowed them to shrink objects and beings to many times smaller than their original sizes. This allowed them to run behavioral experiments in the test environment where they kept them, the Habitrail. Donnie went with Liminal outside of the Habitrail and discovered the whole thing was inside a peach pit, undetectable to the reptiles who were always searching for them. With the mystery solved, the Utrons decided to miniaturize the reptiles and keep them in the Habitrail for studying.
Welcome in, guys. Check the show notes for info on today's show. Let me know if there's anything I can do for you.
Donnie couldn't be returned to his original size because of his unique biochemistry. After this, Donnie's pod joined Raps. Not in the overall story of Volume 4, I can't help but see that the Utrons were not necessarily good people. willing to go against their cause and tend to play a chess game with the universe. The whole behavioral experiment thing makes me think that, left to their own devices, the Neutron were actually pretty cruel beings. I'll continue to explore the Neutrons later. Now let's move on to Raphael's storyline. On the day of Splinter's funeral, a group of human vampires attacked a couple of girls in Central Park. Days after that, Raphael left a bar and was attacked by this pack of vampires who were looking to drink some alien blood.
You're
found by Florin and the fugitive
back.
Took him to Princeburg Memorial to check on his health.
Happy to have you.
Once there, he had to be contained, as he started exhibiting a very aggressive mutation.
Happy Saturday morning to ya.
Vampires passed some kind of virus into his bloodstream, which seemed to have awakened immunity, restarting his cycle of mutation. The doctor suspected the virus.
The legend. If you guys aren't following Brian's Comics TMNT, definitely give him a follow. He's got some, I think I started saying this earlier, but he's got some of the best turtle shows out there on that. A great inventory and a totally stellar dude.
He got into a meat delivery truck to feed, and then he went to the sewers to hide. There he crossed paths with Leatherhead, and the two fought over food.
Nice, dude. We're watching this is like a volume 4 like recap, basically.
Raph returned to the lair, and there he started remembering the teachings from his master Splinter, finally calming down and regaining control of himself. After he was repaired, the Fugitoid went to see if Raphael was at the lair, but when he found him, he was calm again. Still a monstrosity, but relaxed. Having grown too much, his size looked a little silly, so Leonardo supersized them for him. The Fugitoid analyzed Raphael's blood and found out that, with the toxins out of his system, his mutation was finally stable. However, his transformation seemed unlikely to revert to his previous stage. Around this time, Donatello returned from Venezuela in action figure size. He started working on a Sal 4000 android they brought from planet Duhunib in a past adventure. Donnie adapted the robot into a turtle form and started living inside it. Casey Jones, Raph, and Donatello faced the vampire gang.
Yeah, that's a great way to describe Volume 4.
Thanks
to like the sci-fi turtles.
Did I run that? They were able to get a blood sample from one of them without their consent. One day, Ralph was at the lair but couldn't survive, so he followed his new acute.
What's up, D-Fray? Welcome back, dude.
Where he found his brother next to a mindless clone of Splinter's body. Furious Raphael, who got very angry and started fighting Donnie. During his rage, he reverted back to his usual self and fainted. Donnie tied him up to make sure he'd listen to him. Donnie feels that Raphael's anger released a flood of adrenaline into his bloodstream, which in turn counteracted whatever infection he got from those vampires.
That time of year.
Those elements out of the system. I don't buy this theory, but whatever.
Allergy season.
Donnie created a mindless clone of Master Splinter's body by using some neutron rapid growth tech he had adapted for this purpose from a sample he took on the day of Splinter's funeral. He was doing this to check for toxins and poisons, just to be sure that Splinter died of natural causes and was not murdered by one of their enemies. But this also served as a second experiment. As Donnie was struggling to figure out why Raphael changed so radically, and to try to find a way to reverse
treat you better this time around.
A good source of mutagen transformed biomatter with which to experiment on. A clone to Splinter's body would work, but while doing so, he made an unexpected finding. He ran the test comparing the genetic makeup of this clone body with tissue samples he took of all of them a few years ago, during an untold tale against some doppelgangers. He found significant mismatches in the genetic structure of the samples, leading to the conclusion that
the good news there is that they do switch up artists somewhat frequently.
And there's no follow-up issue at the moment.
And once Matteo Santaloco started working on stuff, I really liked it. But there are honestly some early issues where I kind of was like, ugh, on the art.
This was an older version of the Splinter.
But the story is really solid. And but it does, in my opinion, you can form your own.
Whatever it was, it's still missing. Only Peter Laird knows the right answer. As for Donatello being an action figure,
this kind of got that guest era, that Volume 1 guest era effect, where like after issue 100, it gets a little rough, and I can take or leave a lot of the issues because it kind of changes. The format sort of changes. It's not the traditional turtle stories or the kind of stuff you find. It's more like slice of life
to combat terrorism.
Like almost like
United
every
States.
issue is like an episode of
Something
Friends.
that, oddly enough,
It's
was
weird.
in favor of the Utrons and Raphael in this story.
Wasn't my favorite take on the Turtles, but you see what you think. It's definitely solid up to issue 100 for sure.
But as weird as Donnie and Raph's storylines were, I found Leonardo and Michelangelo to have the more substantial plots. Let's explore.
Oh yeah, you can't go wrong with 2003 Turtles.
After the death of Splinter, Mikey found a
That
job
was
on an island
you know,
as
the
a
last one that Peter was heavily involved in, and
facilitator.
you can
Some
tell
sort of tourist guide for
they learned a
aliens
lot
who
from
arrived on Earth for the
what
first
happened in the
time.
90s, and
Now
they made a
we can
really
adjust
they made a
to
really
new
solid
surroundings.
product with that show. I
Fortunately,
kind of start to drop
his
off.
first visitor was the Regenta
Like
Seraculus
once they get into fast
planet.
forward, I'm kind of like,
She was
meh,
a
I can
total
do, you know,
female.
take or leave a lot of
Perhaps
fast
some sort
forward.
of
Like it's
governor
good,
acting on behalf of
but
some
it's not,
incapacitated monarch.
you know, it's just kind of
She came to
gimmicky, I
Earth
guess
with
you could
two
say. You know, like you can
Stracodon
tell that
dolls.
they wanted to
Her
do
first desire was to
a
visit
whole
the
new
Museum
wave of
Natural
action
History.
figures with it, basically. You know what I
After some
mean?
suggestions from the Regenta, they ditched her bodyguards. and
But
Mikey took her to New Hampshire
like all the
to eat
Turtles have
lobster.
like these different changes in
They went to
armors,
Maine
and
later,
it's just kind of
where they
weird.
went for
But
a swim. The two clearly started to know each other better, and Mikey couldn't help but fall in love
once they
with
get
her.
back to New York,
This
it's
made him
just
nervous
as good,
and
if not
insecure
better
about
than
himself.
the
Perhaps for the first
beginning.
time in his life.
I don't know if you've ever really watched it, but 2012 Turtles is really good too.
This made her angry at him.
Yeah.
She continued swimming angrily away from him. Unfortunately, she got trapped in a fishing
Hey,
net
have you
and drowned
tried
when
watching
she
that
Michelangelo's
one on
cat.
Netflix that's for like really little kids called like Half Shell Heroes? I was wondering if you tried watching that with the little dude.
After waking up, Sarah was shocked to
And I was
learn
wondering if
they
that was like
shared
any good, if they
friends.
like
A
put
very
stuff for
intimate
adults
act
in
for
there,
her
or
race.
if it's like straight up
However, she wasn't outraged.
Dora
She
the
was
Explorer, you know
relieved
what I
and
mean?
pleased. She then went to the water with Mikey, and they made it. Mikey was in heaven after this, but things started moving faster when he discovered that Sari had already laid some eggs, which he covered with sand.
Oh, you should
She
check
sent
it out,
Mikey
man.
to
See if
find
he
a
likes it.
packed container to
It's
transport
called,
the
I think it's called
eggs.
Half Shell
Mikey
Heroes.
was now in the clouds, thinking
And they're all like
starting
baby
a family
turtles from
with
the
an
looks of it.
alien princess. But by the time a very happy Michelangelo returned to the beach, he found the bodyguards collecting the eggs and taking the Regenta back with them, under orders of someone higher in the chain of command. Mikey tried to recover the Regenta and the eggs, but in the fight he lost a tooth and his consciousness. They left the planet with Mikey inside a biostasis crate, hidden under some seafood. By the time he woke up, he was in a shared cell with other
What
aliens.
should I run?
Most
What do you
of
guys
them
want to run?
Triceratons, and one of
Should
them,
we just
named
hang out and
Azog,
watch TV?
was
And not
blind
run
and had
anything?
been there for the past 32
I'm down.
years. It's important to note that the Regenta was
We had a great show
against
last night. I don't need
Stracodon's
to
attack
sell
on
anything
Michelangelo.
today.
But these dialogues were only clear to the readers, not Mikey. One day during a yard break,
Plus, it's always like
Mikey
whenever I
saw someone
restock
who
stuff,
looked like
especially
the
Mirage stuff,
Regenta
it's like
tried to
you're here
reach
for
him,
a day and it's gone.
hoping that
So I'm
after
like,
knowing he
I'm
was
cool to be
being
able to
held
hold
there,
on
she
to
would
it
free
for a
him.
while. It's good.
But he was violently returned to the yard. And apparently that wasn't the
The micro
Regenta.
series are going
It was
fast,
someone
though.
that looked like her. We intentionally didn't get to see who this woman was. All hope was lost until Azog realized the prisoner beside him had a very corrosive type of blood. He took a bite at him to free himself from his chains, and then instructed Michelangelo to use the blood to free himself.
Yeah, dude.
But warning him not to
That's
make
what it's
physical
here for.
contact with the blood.
Always try to find something interesting to put on. Like, once I saw it, we've watched this one before, too.
Similar to the effects of radiation.
Dude, I've been doing background videos pretty much since we started. So, like, we used to do the movies. I don't think I can do the movies or any of the shows anymore now that we're streaming to YouTube. Like, I don't want to get hit with, like, DMCA's over there. But I figured YouTube videos is safe. I could be wrong.
Mikey told them about Azog dying. And after hearing this, Commander Tzurg declared the mission was over. On their way to the Triceraton homeworlds, they repaired his lost tooth and told him he had an appointment with the High Council and the Prime Leader. They explained that Zanramon had survived their escape, but was later deposed.
My favorite thing to do is like we'd watch the Batman Turtles movie, and I'd run like all the Batman Turtles we had, kind of like this. Like we got
After all this time,
Volume 4, number 1,
the Triceratons seemed technologically advanced enough to develop a
and we're
transplant device
hold on one
of their
second.
own. Tzurg explained that whenever they were close to it, the Utrons made sure they never achieved it, blowing up labs or assassinating researchers with records destroyed or corrupted. These actions were attributed to the Utrom Obscura Secreti, a Black Ops organization working
I'll be right back,
for the
guys.
Utrom government. They even suspected the Utroms of disguising themselves as Triceratons to achieve this. In any any case, the way the turtles battled in the arena all those years ago served as an inspiration to the Triceratons, and they have, since then, been learning their fighting techniques that didn't rely on size and power like they were used to. Dessert created a unit focused on this kind of fighting. They called this art Kajatu Masil, which means soft kill.
Oh, I love the Batman Channel comics. Yeah. I have them collected in hardcover.
In front of the Triceraton High Council, he was questioned about the death of Azog. He learned he was a very respected diplomat and philosopher. Lost
Absolutely love that
before
series.
A peace treaty between the Republic and the Starakedon Imperium. A treaty that would have ended centuries of blood and destructive war between the two governments. They long suspected the Starakedons of being responsible for his disappearance. And now that they had proof,
we'll run Volume 4, Number 1 while we watch Volume 4, Number 1.
Irredeemable and undeserving of a peace treaty. The High Council then decided to start the total eradication of the
Really, Brian? You picky.
Michelangelo, who was still hurt by the apparent betrayal of the Regenta,
no, I enjoyed that quite a bit.
The Triceratons in their revenge war.
Hold on 1 second.
Joined the Republic and joined Commander Dessert.
Hey.
It's worth mentioning that they often refer to the Starakedons as Staraki, which kind of sounds a lot like Iraqi. Make a mental note of this. The Triceratons started using biological weapons against the Staraki, which might be found to be too cruel. But Dessert justified this by saying it would take longer and more Triceraton lives to do it in any other way. It would have also destroyed most of the infrastructure in that world and the intelligence assets they needed to secure. After their first mission, they were assigned to return to the planet where Mikey was held prisoner before. Thinking Sari was there, Mikey hoped to get revenge on her for what she had done to him. And
honestly, I recommend it. And
the whole thing seemed to be
another thing
for a young American soldier being drafted into the war in Iraq.
The movie, the animated movie, Chef's Kiss, great movie.
To take control of a country that wasn't even involved in the terrorist attack. But the story also
since we're talking about it,
for radicalization.
Yeah. Great. The animated movie is solid. They did a really good job with it. You can get it on Prime.
Times when people suddenly started identifying with xenophobic and Islamophobic points of view. And obviously, times when disenfranchised civilians also found themselves indoctrinated in the most extremist organizations or groups. But most importantly, Michelangelo was just hurt and running under unproven assumptions that Sari betrayed him, without properly knowing what happened. And as far as we could tell, he was wrong, and he simply bought into the Triceraton propaganda. After all, the Regenta wasn't even a Starakedon. I'm sure that, had the story continued, he would have discovered the truth about the Regenta and probably met his children. In this scenario, Sari's presumed presence on the planet parallels the alleged presence of weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. We also don't know what the political situation was in the Starakedon Imperium, so I could also imagine a revolution coming up there as well. Whatever the case, the whole experience would have been a very dark period in his life, but he would have returned to the principles and virtues that made him who he was.
I don't think, I don't think you have like unpopular opinions though, Brian. I think you just have like some. You just like what you like, man.
But not all storylines involve the turtles. I already covered the shocking revelation about the Fugitoid's origin in this other video. And while I already covered the other plots in this video, and this video, I'll go over them again so you can see them in context. After a traumatic experience, April and her family returned to the farmhouse in Northampton to rest. There, she started going over all the memories that survived the fire of the second time around store. In between her childhood things, April found her dad's sketches. She also found a film where her father drew her in 1962. Back then, Robin was 4 years older than her, and in that film, Robin was probably 2.5. That meant her father's sketch of April was done before she was born. Really confused about her origins, April contacted Brunette with a time panic button she provided them for emergencies. Brunette knew why she called her, and she took some years before responding. That's how troubled she was about the whole thing. They went to the past,
Jim Lawson signed
and
stuff
judging
from
by April's hair,
Check Back on
they spent months
Journeys.
there. April was
You know what? I
utterly
probably
destroyed by
can.
the experience. She abandoned her car and went missing for days.
April called Casey to tell him that she couldn't return home yet, as she didn't know who she was or where she belonged. This made Casey furious enough to start patrolling the streets again on the streets of Springfield, Massachusetts. However, one night he found himself competing against another crime fighter, a female version of Nobody. He chased her and discovered she was April. By the way, a bit after this story, it will be revealed that Nobody wasn't really dead. Check out this other video for the details on his return. Back to April, she finally explained to Casey what happened when she went to the past with Renette. When they arrived in the past, they assumed the life of 2 cockroaches to be able to spy on her father. They found out her mother was
Dude,
also
thanks for chilling, Brian.
children. But in her case, it was because of something that happened during Robin's birth. Knowing that having babies wasn't an option anymore, they were in disagreements about adopting a baby. They followed her father to the basement, where he took a strangely designed box that contained some sort of artifact with an eraser on one extreme and a gem trapped in a cage on the other. Looking at this gem, April recognized it from what Donatello told her about the crystal that Kirby, one of the tenants in that building, used to get light.
What happened? The TV just turned off. Oh no. I don't know at what point in the thing we were in. Oh no. It wasn't a power surge. We're still on. We're still alive. That's weird. Did it just turn off by itself? That's a new one. Hey, no problem, dude. Thanks for hanging out. We're probably gonna run for another 15 minutes or so anyway.
Now to find out how good these turtles really are.
Hello and welcome back to the 80s Toy Museum. It may be hard to imagine now, but before this toy line and cartoon existed, turtles weren't exactly considered fun and cute.
Turtles are smelly and disgusting.
Some people even ate them.
Tonight I dine on turtle soup.
But that all changed thanks to the heroes in a half shell.
They're like totally rad, man.
Yeah, I want to be a turtle when I grow up.
Taking a look at one of the most
Weird. The TV keeps turning on.
Now to find out how good these turtles really are. Now now to find out how good these turtles really are.
Article 4 out. Totally awesome history of
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Heroes in a Half Shell,
1988 edition.
Yeah, humans don't know nothing when it comes to turtles.
Oh,
Au
shit.
contraire, the humans at TMNT Wiki have a wealth of turtles information. Be sure to check out their website for more turtles history on every incarnation through the years.
And away we go!
For those who didn't live it, it can't be fully conveyed just how utterly awesome the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were in 1987. Even though the fun 80s were winding down, the Turtles supercharged the colorful, carefree vibe of the decade with an unprecedented level of witty comedy, thanks in part to breaking the fourth wall a whole decade before Deadpool started doing it.
You wouldn't last 5 minutes in a ninja pizza parlor. I love saying lines like that.
Even the name was hilarious. With so many toy line names before it, containing only 1 or 2 words like Transformers, Star Wars, G.I. Joe, and Sectars, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles sounded initially absurd, but didn't take long to just roll off the tongue.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
There's one thing the Turtles didn't joke around about, though.
Don't you guys take anything seriously?
Of course we do.
Like what?
4 years before Playmates released the Heroes in a Half Shell in toy stores and toy sections of department stores, before the massive rabbit hole, or turtle hole, of toys, video games, movies, and television shows, Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird.
Thanks, dude.
Fierce foursome of ninjas.
Appreciate you. I'll have this out first thing on Monday. Have it out today. Actually, you know what? I was planning on ending in about 10-15 minutes, so I might be able to get back to the post office with this stuff. So,
Were they turtles?
welcome to the rewards club. You get a couple coupons for that.
The toy line was following the ninja fad started by G.I. Joe and other 80s toy lines.
Ninja dry cleaners? Ninja shoe repairs?
Ninja video rentals.
Ninja dentist? Ow!
Comic Ninja Turtles debuted in the same year as Storm Shadow, and a year before Snake Eyes got his ninja outfit and sword. Released under Eastman and Laird's Mirage Studios, the comic was a satire of superhero comics of the time, despite its dark and gritty art.
Who are these mystery turtles? Could they be aliens from another planet?
Nope, these radical reptiles were homegrown. While not officially part of the Marvel
Which I appreciate you. Thanks for supporting the show.
unofficially, the same toxic ooze that gave Matt Murdock his...
We got pre-bids on all our Usagi, so I'm just running through that.
...and mutated the 4 turtles. Unlike the heightened senses that Daredevil was gifted by his ooze, the turtles' mutation caused anything that came in contact with it to become hybrid.
It caused whoever touched it to take on the form of whatever animal they had most recently been in contact with.
Another tip of the hat to Marvel is the gang of ninjas they do battle with. In Marvel, Daredevil's arch rivals were the ninja clan, the Hand. For the Turtles, it was the Foot. Even Master Splinter is an homage to Daredevil's master, Stick.
My 4 young wards nicknamed me Splinter for obvious reasons.
The comic gained enough popularity to grab the attention of toy maker Playmates. But Playmates wasn't interested in doing toys for just a comic.
Well, that's kind of a defeatist attitude, don't you think?
They insisted on an animated series created to accompany the toy line. Murakami Wolf Swenson Animation Studio created a 5-parter which aired in December of '87 and January of '88. And was a resounding success, despite the changes from the comic. Or perhaps because of the changes. Playmates worked with the studio to redefine the title characters. In the comics, they all had worn red gear, but in the series and toys, they wore different colors. They also gained their insatiable appetite for pizza.
Pizza time!
Albeit with some unique choices for toppings.
Who had the pepperoni and ice cream? I want some of the jelly beans and mushrooms. Yeah, give me a slice of anchovies and peanut butter.
This is seriously grossing me out.
And a new catchphrase for one of them. We used his new catchphrase every chance he got.
Oh, you bet your sweet shell.
Alright, this is the last of the Usagi here.
Buffalo Bob was now huge. He sued ownership of the word. The case was ultimately dismissed. The individual personalities of each turtle also originated with the series. Leonardo leads, Donatello does machines. Raphael is cool, but rude. Some even think crude. And Michelangelo is a party dude. The tone was lightened considerably from the original comic and made less violent.
We turtles don't know the meaning of the word defeat. That's right. We never bothered to look it up in the dictionary.
The villains were made more comical.
I know that, idiot.
And the swearing was dropped. Some countries, like the UK, the sanitization step further and changed the word ninja to hero to distance the brand from the ancient assassins. Despite having individual titles, instead of being labeled Part 1...
Alright guys, we're going to run for about another 10 minutes. Let me know if there's anything you'd like me to run. Check the show notes for info on our show. Looking for TMNT.com to stay connected to the community. And like I said, let me know if there's anything you'd like me to run. All the turtle stuff is in the auction tab, and everything else is in the buy it now.
Coupled with one of the catchiest theme songs.
If you have any requests or anything you'd like me to run, just let me know. Otherwise, I'll just run back through the slabs. Like I said, we'll go for about another 10 minutes. Unless we get a legend like JT. That's a good question. I do not have any soggy figures. Yeah, thanks for asking, though.
They burst onto the scene with 10 carded figures, 5 vehicles.
Oh, dude, no worries there. No worries. Yeah, Nico, thanks for asking. I do get the soggy stuff in from time to time. Like, I just kind of got sold out of it, but I'll end up getting more. So definitely give a follow and check back.
Or robot points. But pizza.
Oh, I see you did follow. Thanks, dude.
Yeah,
you disappeared. You're like, hey guys, gone.
4 villains. For the good guys, there were the 4 ninja.
Will do, Unequal.
Eastman and Laird had originally
I'll put a note in my spreadsheet.
Japanese names, but ultimately decided that Italian Renaissance artists would fit the quirky tone better. Taking a page out of Mattel's book with Masters of the Universe, Playmates.
I don't respond to demands
figures to cut costs.
like that. That was a entitled demand.
As well as different expressions and foot poses.
I'm just kidding. I do respond to those.
Many times over the following years, and literally hang from the pegs right now. But the main difference
that's okay. Where
is that the original line featured soft heads made of rubber. A cheaper option at the time employed by Playmates in case the line wasn't as successful as they hoped. The heads were switched to hard plastic afterwards.
Yeah, I hadn't run those in a while, and then I looked over and I saw there were pre-bids on all of them. I was like, oh. I always forget the pre-bids, man. I've lost so much in sales from just ending a show and forgetting about pre-bids. It's bad. It's just one of those things, like, I focus on the show and, like, talking to people and hanging out and stuff, and, like, I don't think to check over that. I should. I'm going to try to start stressing pre-bids more, actually. It's a lot easier.
Sprue in the style of G.I. Joe or Transformers accessories. These extras were included with all 4 of the turtles.
Leonardo, his swordsmanship is unmatched.
The turtles were led by the quick-thinking
You did.
Leonardo, clad in mask.
What do you mean? What do you mean? It was kind of so endy.
What do we do? You and Raphael cut around to either side. Donatello, try to get to their rear.
Each turtle was assigned a weapon by Master Splinter.
It was kind of. Yeah, I can't figure out what your autocorrect was trying to do with that. But that's like a key word in what you. Spendy, got you.
But steel as well.
Taste cold steel.
Leo included a removable belt with straps that could hold the swords, personalized with the letter L on the buckle. The most fragile part of the turtle figure is the pegs holding these straps closed would tear or break off with too much use.
Donatello, a simple wooden book, can disarm any adversary.
Next was the tech expert of the team, the brilliant idea man, or idea turtle, Donatello.
Whose kind idea was this anyway?
Yours.
Well, you don't have to rub it in.
Not a great memory.
Oh, you did?
He wore a purple mask, elbow, and knee pads.
Show him some moves, Donatello!
Since he was so passionate about working with machinery and electronics, he was given a stick.
No shit. He was in here last night.
A simple bow staff to nurture his patience and appreciation for uncomplicated things.
Yeah, no
Even
shit.
though we only used one bow staff on the show, The Donatello figure included 2 of them. It could be used to whack opponents or as a projectile.
We still got these.
Oh, word.
His
Well,
belt
sorry,
punching
has that
staff was
experience,
made
man.
That could only hold 1 of his bow staffs. This is one of the most fragile parts of any of the turtles' gear. Far too thin to hold the large
It's a
staff,
bummer that it
and often tearing.
doesn't want to just make you right.
His buckle had a D on it, and despite being trained in the ancient
That's the way I
ninja
am,
arts,
man. Anytime, you know me, anytime anyone has any sort of complaint, I'm like, oh, you want like free books or whatever? Like, you know, wait, what can I do for you? I can understand that, dude. No one likes shit like Cheerios.
Raphael was the only flat-footed turtle of the 4. Ironic, since he did a great impression of a guy who hated flat-foots. Big Boss from Cops.
Yeah, you're in a couple weeks ago, maybe it was last week. No, it had to be a couple weeks ago. And you were like, has anyone ever had a bad experience with him? And I was like, no. I was like, there's something going on there. I'm not gonna cry, but there's something behind that.
I wanted to work on my tan.
The one with a temper who's most comfortable going on the attack.
Get out of my face!
He was given a pair of Sai, a short-range weapon effective for defensive parry and capture of other weapons,
Watch you with that thing, pal!
as well as for attack. And I better mention his intangible.
You know what? I don't remember. You'll refresh my memory. Not the ones from me. I was gonna say the ones that I had. I sent out for free, man.
It's razor-sharp sarcasm, which could slice through any assault minion of Shredder.
Didn't I see you in the Jungle Book?
Unlike Leo and Gon, Raph's belt didn't include shoulder straps. It had sheaths for each thigh at the front, although it was a bit of a tight fit, and storing them would contribute to the somewhat fragile blades on the side blade. The buckle had an R on it, and although it was never featured on the show, the belt had an extra sheath on the back for one of the daggers.
Michelangelo, master of the whirling nunchakus. And master of the whirling pizzas.
And finally, Michelangelo, the life of the party.
Let's show them the turtles know how to party! Time to get down!
Super suave, man. He wore an orange mask, elbow and knee pads. Being somewhat scatterbrained,
Yeah! Like what he
Yikes.
said.
he's equipped with a pair of nunchucks.
Get funky!
That book is hard to find in good condition. Like the ones I sent out, they weren't in the best condition. That's why I gave them as free giveaways, kind of thing. Because I was like, I don't like having stuff in really poor condition unless it's like. But that was one of those ones I probably could have sold them because it's a tough book to find in good condition. It's really thin. There's an ash can, so people don't take care of them.
Breakage at the connection point. One trick to not bend them as much is to alternate the handles in staggered fashion.
What's up, Garrett?
And their pet rat?
They were joined by their masters.
But yeah,
A giant mutated rat that included a soft goods robe and a belt. He didn't see the need for a personalized belt buckle. Originally a human,
Amato Yoshi was their Shidoshi, teacher of the warrior ways of enlightenment.
he was framed by Shredder and cast out of his ninja clan.
What say you, all-wise sensei? Oh, okay. I say, throw the bomb out!
The same ooze that mutated the turtles also mutated Yoshi into his giant rat-like form, but he retained his wisdom.
You can never win. Gentle always turns away strong.
His accessories were a bow and arrow, throwing stars, and a cane to help him walk,
damn, dude, I'm sorry that happened to you.
He's never without it.
as well as fight. There was a concealed blade inside. Splinter's backstory differed between the comic.
If you ever have anything like that happen with me, which should never happen,
That rat of
you
ninja
be sure to let me know. I don't like
who's murdered by another ninja named the same
people
ooze that
letting
mutates
stuff like that
turtles
go. It
also
just helps
mutates
me
Splinter.
be better.
In the cartoon, however,
Okay.
Splinter is a Yoshi, and the mutagen transforms him from a human into a giant biped rat. He's the guiding light of the turtles, or their footballs.
Yo,
And finally, for the hero,
legit, can you ask them about that Paleo 8 next time you're in there?
nothing got past this perceptive press sleuth.
It's kind of one of the only books I need this year.
Bingo.
You know, I've got like my top 10 list, and like that's like up there.
Stripes on the arm and leg of the jumpsuit, but a running change was made
Yeah,
to include a blue stripe,
last one.
making the original version more rare. And her accessories?
And what does all that equipment do?
I have absolutely no idea.
She included a wireless microphone, a briefcase computer.
The camera! Get to the camera!
Thanks, man. I appreciate you. I'm wondering what the fate of it was. There were two. There were two copies,
You're the news
different
media, for
condition.
crying out loud.
I know he didn't sell them both,
Throwing star.
or maybe he pulled them and put them on eBay or something. I don't
I
know.
guess April isn't the only one who's heard the expression, don't bring a knife to
But
a
if they would come down to anything more reasonable than what people are trying to ask for it,
She's the
I would
first one
probably pay it.
By the way,
I'm not paying
anyone else
$300
notice
for
the
it though.
similarity to another
That's not
female
happening.
reporter whose name starts with an A that hangs around with a quartet of vigilantes
The A-Team. Isn't that what he called them?
that drive around in a van?
I'm sufficiently intrigued.
The Turtles went up against a quartet of bad guys in their initial year,
Whoa, who's the dude with the metal face?
led by Hamato Yoshi's arch rival, Oroku Saki.
But you may call me the Shredder.
Okay, dude. Yeah, that makes sense, and I'll keep that in mind for future too.
This is the
I'll try not to
can't stand.
crush your streams,
It's very
as it
hard to
were.
balance because of his pose.
You know.
Splinter. Shredder had a soft goods cape, a belt to secure it to his body, a sword, and the same extra weapons that all the Turtles came with. He also had spiked armor on his shins, wrists, and shoulders.
Did he give you some attitude or something? Did you bring it up to him and it was like a he got like he took issue with it?
I have my own. You can big up, rock steady.
That's right. Shredder had a pair of henchmen that initial year.
Just what we needed. Company.
Just what you're gonna get. A pound.
Huh.
Bebop was a street punk mutated
Weird.
with a warthog. This
Maybe
week,
try bringing it up again?
with the dreadnoughts.
Oh, he can be kind of abrasive for sure. I've definitely
He included a drill,
like listened to him like rage out more than once on stuff. So like I get it, it's kind of intimidating, but he'd probably be chill, man. I suspect. Maybe he just missed it.
And his cohort was the army gear-clad Rocksteady.
Yeah.
Mutant Rhino.
Just be like, hey, I just want to make sure you saw my message.
Say your prayers to
No harm in that.
He included a manhole cover shield,
Oh, fair enough.
Why would you be carrying a knife like this?
hunting, removable belt, and when he wanted to do more damage,
4 strength, 4 stam leather belt.
he had a machine gun.
Oh, did I hurt you? This'll make it better.
Yeah, the boy likes his work.
They may have been powerful,
Jump for it! You idiot.
The mutation didn't up their IQs any.
but they weren't much of a threat intellectually speaking.
Yeah, dude, that I understand. Between you and me, I did a deal when the blind bags first came out. I did a deal. He had a deal with a guy. We get it for like $2 a piece or whatever. So I ordered, I don't know, 30 or so to just to start us out.
Clang? Did you say clang?
And there was some sort of breakdown between him and the guy. That's what I said, dude. He called me, dude, and we were on the phone for like a half hour. He was just like straight raging. By the end of it, dude, I was like anxious. You know, like the phone call gave me anxiety because it was just so fucking intense, dude. And like he backed out of the deal, and like there was, I can't even tell you what the circumstances were. I got like a whole stream of texts about it. And basically, at the end, I was like, hey man, do I get my money back or do I get the bucks? He's like, hey man, I've been trying to tell you everything, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, man, but like, it's like 6 voice messages and like 20 texts and then a half hour just like, you know what I mean? Like, let him like rage at me. I was like, dude, just, like, I'm easy, man.
Let's rev this baby up and
You know?
motivate.
Yeah, he ended up backing out of the deal. I went forward with it. But, yeah, he was pissed because the guy wasn't going to get on, you know, he wasn't going to get to us that Wednesday. Came a couple days late.
And had a number of play features.
Which was whatever, man. It took Jetpack a couple weeks to send me what I
All
got
the
now.
surveillance gear I could find. This is as good as it gets.
A flip-up armored shield.
It is slow today.
Due to one of their vehicles.
I sold all the Usagi though. Except for I think there's one little straggler in the buy it now. I didn't say anything about it because I don't want to look for it.
Turtle launcher.
Someone bought a bunch of Animal Man out of the bought all my Animal Man out of the buy it now last night. You'll love to see it. It's been a great week for the buy it now. Someone bought What did they buy? Someone bought some weird shit. Yeah, clean me out of animal, man.
You got time?
No thanks.
Turtles knew how to drive.
She doesn't want to go either. She's hanging out with Papa.
I didn't know you could drive.
Is she gone tonight?
Oh shit! No, she's a little lazy. Oh, was that your mama?
You want to go outside?
Oh, here she comes, Miss
You wanna go
America.
outside?
Look at that. She makes it through the maze so good. Good morning. I love you.
Love you. My kid's gonna go to Walmart to get some things.
I sent her the money for the phone there. You want to let me know what utilities are? I'll send that to you. I thought I was getting paid Monday, but I got paid today.
I will.
I'm gonna, after the show, I'm probably gonna run down to the.
Groceries while I'm there, but
Oh, you guys are gonna be taking the car. I was gonna run down to the comic store, not Doug, but the other one. Pick up my subscription.
yeah.
But I can just wait till you guys are back and do my stuff later. Because I was also thinking about going to the grocery store and getting some milk and essentials.
Walmart?
Yeah, actually.
I'm
Let me
gonna
wrap up the
I
show.
have to deposit this check.
How long? She is. Well, you gotta take her for a walk and stuff.
I'm overdrafting my account this month.
You what?
I have to deposit the check to my mom's estate. Not the big one, but it was a smaller one, and like overdrafting my account at this point because I'm not avoiding putting it in.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
This was fine.
So you saying we stop at Wells Fargo?
No, I can mobile deposit. It's only like $1,000.
Well, you know, let me know what you want for utilities.
Come on.
Yeah, Miss America. Here she comes, Miss America.
A searchlight, a muck blower, and a sewer cover shield for the rider.
All right, bro. Let's do your favorite thing. The baby raid. You ready for a baby raid? You love baby raid. You love that term. You get excited every time I mention baby raids. It's not making you uncomfortable. It's making you very, very comfortable.
With its giant grabbing claw.
That was so funny. Can you stop saying that? I think that was you, right? Like, stop saying baby raid. It's just weird.
Gags, jokes, and crazy weapons category. The Razor set included a call razor, eggs, a shield,
Apparently I'm going to Walmart.
sewer stopper, a gas mask.
Oh, I said, let's see if we can do a baby raid. And I think it was you who I said you love that term, baby raid. You get so happy when I say it. I think it was you when I said we were gonna do a baby raid one time. We were stop saying that. That's a weird thing to say.
Boombox radar, and the sewer pipe bazooka. The cartoon versions of the Turtles were here to stay, as a new comic series called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures
Seriously.
in August of that year, adapting the cartoon adventures and using their different colored outfits rather than their classic matching red outfits from the comics. The show returned for season 2 that fall.
Let's see what we got. I think East Coast is on. Let's go see him.
Does the phrase "go suck a lemon" hold any meaning for you?
Good chilling with you, dude. Look, it's a rare appearance from me. I'm gonna get a Casey mask, and I'm gonna do like an intro and outro to the shows in the Casey mask. That's my plan. Yeah, dude. I'm looking. Yeah, dude. I'm looking sharp. I got my grays coming back in. I had it shaved, but yep, looking good here. Ooh, did you see my shirt? It's out of control. All right, let me figure out how to do this shit on an iPhone.
1988 edition. Want more toy videos and can't wait until TMNT 89? Check out the most powerful Patreon in the universe.
All right, brother. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next time. Maybe Monday.
Exclusive videos consisting of reviews, roundtables, real talks, and toy